Hello and good morning. Now, if you keep telling the same small, sad story, you keep living the same small, sad life. So it's about time for you to embrace life by giving it all the life you can give to live it. Welcome to the Tuesday edition of Wake Up Nigeria.
Welcome. It's great to have you. Of course, it's up to you. Hey, come on, decide what you want, write it down, make a plan, work on it, and of course your dreams could actually be valid and come to pass. All right, it's what we all do here, spreading you and bringing those vibes to you this Tuesday morning.
All we really truly can do.
Definitely.
The week is young. It's still quite young, so no pressure here. There's so much to catch up on today's show. We've already started off in a positive way. I'm bringing some color today.
Come on, there's plenty of rainbow in the house.
Yes,
so it's good I had to bring it down a bit. Because once in my
yellow, the yellow.
Before this thing, I'll paint us this yellow. It has to be all black so that there's some kind of balance. Balance, yin to yang and all of that. Hey, it's great to have you. I am Mike Mexican.
And I'm Titi Layo Oyin. So today promises to be a one-of-a-kind experience. And it's the kind of experience we give every morning. So it's not really one of a kind because you keep giving it to you back to back. Yeah. Remember,
I would say primus inter pares. Don't worry about that. If you know, definitely Latin. It is Latin.
You translate it on the couch then.
That'll be diploma in Latin.
Remember that we're streaming this show live, people. tvcentertainment.tv and of course on Facebook at TVC Connect.
And then talking about Facebook and other social media platforms, Instagram, including Twitter. If you want to interact with us, you want to express yourself with us, use the hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC. Yeah,
our app remains available for you to download free of charge for Android and iOS. So you can watch us from your mobile devices from anywhere in the world.
Of course, YouTube is also there. TVC Entertainment, that's the channel. There's quite some exciting stuff. It's like our catch-up place. That's where you go to for catch-up. And talking about catch-up also, you can also catch up with us Fridays 2:30 p.m. It's WN Extra on exclusively IG.
I hear someone special is being prepped for this Friday, like someone really special.
Cool.
And
that's cool.
You know what? Just like we did yesterday, we're going to start today with a positive drive and some motivating, uplifting words. Once again, from Chude Jidonwo.
About our economic future. We're planning for how can I get a job that will help me make more money? How can I get a promotion? How can I get more increase in salary? How can I get this? How can I get that? So most of what we claim.
And Dr. Ene Onazi is a doctor of medicine and certified by the Education Commission for Foreign Medical Graduates. She will be talking about 5 things you need to know about your nervous system with regards to stroke and identifying the symptoms of a stroke. So basically, do you know what to do if you suspect someone is having a stroke? Have you ever thought about it? Today we'll learn what and what not to do.
And of course, on parenting, we have Izefua Erabo. She will be here with us today to talk about, she'll be talking about positive parenting. That's what we're doing today.
Positive. And finally, Michael Ama Psalmist, Akin Rogunde, award-winning filmmaker, someone with cause in directing and screenwriting. All right. So, yes, so we're bringing the color today.
No. It should have been a black. It should have been black, maybe black leather or something.
What?
To diffuse, you guys are bringing
colors.
the color you are bringing on this Tuesday morning, man.
It's to brighten your day, you know.
That was
you know. First of all, our set alone is already pa. Our set is just
you're not seeing us clearly.
Just in case you were still sleeping, these colors will wake you up.
So I see. Okay, so I want to talk about this later on. Maybe Coffee just will talk about Kanye West and his mental breakdown over the past 24 hours. But where do you? So I've always been thinking about narcissism and self-affirmation. Where do you draw the line between believing in yourself and affirming that belief in words that other people can hear, And then when does it cross over into narcissism? What made me also think about it, something I've been thinking about over the past few days, weeks, and even months is, I want to say something. I said, if I look at our set and I want to compare and look at other people, like, okay, una no reach. And I'm thinking, okay, I'm happy, I'm good. Yeah, we are good. But there's a point where it becomes very harmful when it goes to that point where you're narcissistic. You know, how do you draw the line? It's a question I've been asking different people for. You know, this thing is subjective. So I just want to ask you guys, how do you draw the line between affirmation and when it goes over into arrogance or narcissism?
So affirmation is more like saying the obvious in a positive light and reaffirming obvious facts. Now, when it goes to narcissism, is when when it has a negative connotation, thereby what's that word? When you're forcing your opinion down somebody, trying to project it on the person, but negatively. So me saying, oh, I'm so pretty, Titi, you have to take it that I am so pretty, and it's going to affect you. That's me projecting it, and it's affecting her negatively.
You say like, I'm better than you. You are
yes,
not as
exactly.
pretty as me.
You're not as pretty as me. Okay. But I'm pretty and I'm confident in myself. Great. But Titi accepting that, great. But now putting it and affecting Titi is the narcissistic
So on the other
part.
hand, you can now say when you're always finding negatives in others in order to make yourself higher projected.
Putting it
So
on the
for
person.
instance, I could say something like, oh, Tokwe, you shouldn't be wearing multicolors, right? Or something like that.
Yes.
Multicolors don't fit you, or something like
So
that.
we just
You know,
say
that kind of thing. You could pull it out of, you could find all the negative things about that person in order to make yourself look bigger. That's when I think it gets to that level you're talking about.
Man, this is a discussion I need for myself. I know maybe some other people might need that. This is going to be therapy for me because I'm thinking that maybe I've been flying under the radar too much. It's time to spread my wings. And but I don't want to spread my wings in such a way
Too high.
But hey, you know.
We'll get there. Eventually we'll get there.
Definitely.
But I think it's about time for us to take the news, yeah? And, okay, I think Tokwe is about to take the news update.
All right, I will do that. Students under the NDDC program in the UK protested the non-payment of their allowances and school fees. They say some of them are homeless after being evicted from their residence for lack of payments. They allege that the situation has exposed them to different kinds of demeaning jobs. They are calling on President Muhammadu Buhari to come to their aid.
Ourselves to occupational risk, health risk, and it's even affecting our study. We were given 20 hours to work here, and when this 20 hours is not enough to pay to settle our bills here, accommodation, shelter, and feeding. What we are saying is we are pleading to His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari to take pity on us, because we used to hear from our parents that a mother will never forsake the crying of her infant. But it is unfortunate that NDDC has put this wrong.
Yeah, for as long as 2018, we're on their PhD right now, they're on the second year, and up to now, we've not gotten enough gift allowance, talk more of having their fees to be paid. Most of us have been locked out of our school quarters. Most of us don't have homes to stay. Most of us are squatting with different friends. We have to go back to food banks to get food. And sometimes when we get there, some of these food substances are very close to expiration date. We want to call on the NDDC and also the President also to prevail on the NDDC to come to our aid. We have been exposed to that situation in the UK here. We've been exposed to do different kinds of jobs. We are not defeated.
There seems to be a ray of hope on the horizon as scientists at the University of Oxford say their experimental coronavirus vaccine has shown a protective immune response in hundreds of people who got the shot. Trials involving 1,077 people showed the injection led to them making antibodies and T cells that can fight coronavirus. The findings are hugely promising, but it is still too soon to know if this is enough to offer protection, and larger trials are underway. The UK has already ordered 100 million doses of this vaccine. Back to Nigeria, the Nigerian healthcare sector is to benefit from a 100 billion naira grant from the Central Bank of Nigeria. It is to be administered through a healthcare sector research and development intervention scheme. A body of experts has now been inaugurated to review submitted proposals for grants in areas of drug production, herbal medicines, vaccines, and diagnostics for infectious diseases. Lara Afolayo reports.
COVID-19 infections and deaths in Nigeria continue to rise despite efforts by the authorities to contain the situation. In the wake of the disease's outbreak in Nigeria, the Central Bank of Nigeria put in place a 100 billion naira credit facility for the health sector. So far, 20 projects valued at over 26 billion naira have been funded through the facility. It is now expanding this intervention to include a 100 billion naira grant through a healthcare sector research and development intervention scheme. The monies will be used for research and development of drugs, herbal medicines and vaccines for the control, prevention and treatment of infectious diseases.
Our intermediate objective is intended to boost domestic manufacturing of critical drugs and vaccines to ensure their sustainable domestic supply and reduce the bulk manufacturing cost of drugs, herbal medicines, and vaccines into Nigeria. With a body of experts,
over 20 grant applications valued at 67 billion naira have already been received. This body of experts is now being inaugurated to ensure only the qualified indeed gets the grants.
The body will deliberate on questions such as: could the design and execution of the proposal result in the discovery of COVID-19 or non-COVID-19 related projects for management or cure of the disease state?
To the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19, this intervention could not have come at a better time.
If we lose the sense of the moment and don't do anything, we'll be confronted with another pandemic in the future. And we'll find ourselves starting all over again. If we had built on the experiences of Ebola and other pandemics that or epidemics that we have dealt with in the past, probably today we wouldn't have started with just about 2 laboratories, molecular laboratories for the testing of COVID.
The disbursement and utilization of the 100 billion naira healthcare grant is to be effectively monitored by the Apex Bank to ensure it achieves the desired objectives. Lara Folayo, TVC News, Abuja.
To securities matters now. 16 people, including a police inspector, have been killed in Kaura local government area of Kaduna State. Among the slain is a police inspector, Kukum Daji village, and Kaura divisional police officer. The attack spots heavily armed men invaded Kukum Daji village and the divisional police office in the local government area where they carried out the mayhem. Chairman of the local government, Bege Katuka, says the attacks took place almost simultaneously in 2 areas. 30 other members of the communities were injured, 2 out of whom lost their lives while they were being conveyed to the hospital. The deceased have now been buried. Well, that's it on news update for this hour. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we have sports news.
I have the Nation newspaper here with me, and I'm going to be starting with this one. The headline is NDDC spent 4.2 billion naira in one day, Akpabio tells reps. Minister says cash paid out in tranches of 49 million naira. Lawmakers are beneficiaries of agencies' contracts, in quotes there. The story, of course, starts there on the cover and wraps up on page 8. You can also see photo story of, a troubled-looking NDDC acting MD who collapsed before the panel yesterday. That was news all over TV, all over social media yesterday. That happened. Yes, it actually did happen. Yeah, that's a picture of him, and that's also a picture of him being led out of the hearing room to the hospital. On the global number of COVID-19 cases, 14,802,462 recorded cases of COVID-19, with a death toll of 611,786. In Nigeria, presently we've recorded 37,225 cases of COVID-19, and the death toll has risen to 801. Now, I'm going to wrap up with this one. Onyali Ikpe is Fidelity Bank MD CEO designate. And that's what we have on the cover of The Nation.
Moving on to the cover of Nigerian Tribune this morning, we have PDP derides APC as NDDC. MD faints before reps panel. 1.3 billion naira, not 1.5 billion naira, was spent as COVID-19 palliatives on ourselves, Ponde explains. We see a photo story here of the acting managing director of NDDC, Professor Keme Dikumo Daniel Ponde, being rescued after he fainted during his appearance before the House committee probing the alleged financial misappropriations in the commission. At the bottom of the paper, we have female rep tackles Akpabio for saying most NAS members are NDDC contractors. Sukuk Fund, 162 billion naira released to Works Ministry. Fidelity Bank appoints Onyali Ikpe MD CEO designate as Okonkwo retires December. Access Bank acquires Transnational Bank in Kenya. To the top of the paper, we have COVID-19. Oxford vaccine safe, induces early immune reaction. UK secures early access to 90 million doses. Ondo APC primary, Akeredolu leads. Finally, we have Buhari associate Issa Funtua is dead. You can read this and more in Nigerian Tribune for today.
I have the Punch here, and it has this headline. It says, NDDC controversial probe. More drama as MD faints at hearing. Reps Akpabio clash, exchange words. Now the quote here, quote from Akpabio here, and quote here from Coco. There's the photo stories there of the acting managing director of the NDDC, Professor Ponde, fainting during his appearance. Quite a lot of pictures. I think every paper has a picture of this today. It also says here, police fund deductions. Federal government seeks out-of-court settlement with Rivers. Oath-taking in viral video creates ripples in Ekiti PDP. And on PDP primary, Ondo Deputy Governor not a threat, says Jegede. Nigerian entrepreneur commits suicide over rape accusation in U.S. Oshomole angry Obaseki did not allow him become godfather, say Edo. And again, gunmen invade southern Kaduna, kill 21. Right at the top of the page there, compensation list from Taraba stalls the 3,050 megawatt Mambila project. And finally, Forex uncertainty worries businesses as CBN retains 12.5 interest rates. That's what we have on the cover of the Punch. And that's how we wrap it up on the headlines in the dailies at this point. We'll be taking a quick break. Stay with us.
Welcome back. Now, the rains are here, and you have to be extremely careful with how you manage your movement. Now, that's why we are here, to ensure that you get to your intended destination safe and sound and in good time. So we're going to start our journey from Ojodu Bega. But before that, remember that we encourage that you help other road users by using the hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC, on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram to let us know where you are and if you're experiencing any traffic or if there's any breakdown on the road. Starting from Ojodu Bega all the way to CMS Central Park this morning, guess what? We have just 38 minutes for you to travel on your journey. Now, all the way from the New Beggar roundabout at Ojodu, there is no traffic. It's so interesting. I love to tell you that there's no traffic. Climbing the express now through Capital Oil, all the way through 7 up, there is no traffic. I can see no traffic. Now, if you want to go through the MKO Abiola Garden side, or if you live around Ojota axis, now this is going to take you 1 hour, 17 minutes. There's a bit of traffic on that side. Not sure what is causing it, but if you're there, you might want to share updates with us. Now, there's slight traffic just after Chinatown at Alakbere, but right after that, through Alakbere Estate, there's no traffic. But once you get to Ogudu Market, that's Ogudu bus stop, there's traffic there. But right after Ogudu, you know there's a bus stop there. I think at this point, we should get used to experiencing little traffic at bus stops. Right after Ogudu Market, there's no traffic. You get to the 3rd Mainland Bridge, all through the 3rd Mainland Bridge right now until you start to descend at Adeniji. There's traffic all the way through Adeniji, through Ring Road. Not sure what's going on because it's still pretty early. There's traffic all the way down through Manor Hall. Just right after Adeniji, the Marina exit, the road is free. And even at Marina bus stop, where we usually have buses packed there causing traffic, there's nothing there. So if you're at the axis, you experience no traffic or slight traffic this morning. I'm going to check other routes, but I'm hoping Titi and Mike have some updates for me.
Yeah, trying to check out here, but a traffic portal, there's really no updates. I mentioned that I wanted to take a look at how we could manage during the closure, the partial closure of 3rd Mainland Bridge. I'm still trying to get verified information. Some have been coming up, but a number of people are still not very sure. But in the course of maybe probably this week, we'll definitely get it across to you. So it's not a full closure, because I know that early in the morning, if you're approaching 3rd Mainland coming from Bega, as though you're past toll gate, at about 8, 9, 10, even up until 11 a.m., it's still kind of very, very tight. So by the time the partial closure happens, it's going to be very tight. So you would really have to plan your movement.
Yeah. Or probably not even move much at all.
Exactly.
Meanwhile, I have a tweet here.
Exactly.
A tweet here that says there's a trailer right now that has hit the BRT lane at Fadeyi on Ikorodu Road.
Okay.
It's blocking the express way into Doman Long Bridge. You can use the service lane, but traffic is building fast on the expressway. So please take note there. Please take note. It's going to be a lot of traffic on that particular route. There's going to be a lot of traffic there if you don't take the service lane. So just take note when you're approaching Doman Long Bridge.
All right. Thank you very much for that. I'm just going to quickly take from Festac to CMS. Now, if you're traveling from Festac, it will take you 44 minutes. We're starting from First Avenue. Now, from First Avenue, you shouldn't experience any traffic up until you get to African Tire Village. That's around Alakija. Now, there's a lot of traffic at that point. Not sure what's going on. Please let us know if you're around that axis. Now, connecting through to Old Ojo Road, there's pockets of traffic here and there. It eases up but picks up again at Agboju bus stop and gets thicker right after Agboju bus stop to around where the ShopRite Festive Mall is. The traffic is really thick at that point, but it gets better around Suru Alaba Market. Now from Suru Alaba Market, you have free flowing all the way through to when you are connecting to Costain. Now at Costain axis, there's thick traffic, but it's thick, but it gets better and picks up, that kind of experience. But right after that, when you climb the Eco Bridge is free. But when you get to Akpabio, there's traffic there, but it eases up from there to Marina. Like I said earlier, Marina is free at this point. Well, that's all that I can take on traffic for now. I'm going to be joining Titi and Mike to know what's up and about in Lagos today.
Okay. All right.
There's quite a lot
There's quite a lot, but they're not just in Lagos. It's trending #1 in Lagos, trending #1 in Nigeria. Let me check worldwide trends if it's #1. But I don't know. But I know it's very close there. But it's Kanye West. Kanye West.
What is going on with that guy? What exactly is happening?
So
I saw a tweet making jest of, I say making jest of Kanye, saying this is how his face will look when Kim serves him divorce papers.
Yeah, I would.
It was just there's so much going on there that you have to wonder how she's feeling about this. But talk to us about what's happening.
Okay, so I'll try and see if I can get some tweets across so people can see it and all of that. We've always known that Kanye is somebody, we're not exactly sure, but we know that he has had therapy at different points. We know that he has had mental health issues, or he still has. We know that at times maybe it can be bipolar disorder. Or,
but is it confirmed?
And all of that.
Well, I guess they never really confirmed.
Okay, now he confirmed it himself. There's a tweet he just put out. He said, you would see it there. He said, you know that when the movie Get Out was made, it was talking about me.
Wow. And of
Have you seen Get Out?
Get Out.
Oh, no, man. That's, first of all, Jordan Peele and all of that, that's one of the best movies ever made. It's, it has this, what they call it now, the underlying analogy, what we
it's
call
all mental. It's mental.
It's not just what you see.
Club?
It's just what you see
Have you watched
under
Fight Club?
And all of that. But it's a great movie.
Those are 2 movies you need
So,
to
but
watch.
generally, the movie is about somebody who is put into, or somebody's consciousness being put into another person's body.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
When somebody says that, Ogbeni, the guy has confirmed to you that Ogbeni, we can be 2 or 3 inside here.
Yeah. And it's the same with Fight Club. With Fight Club, you realize that the guy was actually talking about himself to himself throughout the whole movie.
Exactly.
And nobody knows until the very end.
Exactly.
You know? But Kanye says a lot of things, and you'll see a bit of it on your screen, so you see what we're talking about.
Man, the guy is going into a meltdown. It's going into a meltdown, man. Quite a serious one. You know?
When you start comparing yourself to movies, you start talking about yourself in third person.
Yeah.
There was a particular video of him having an argument on air with Sway. You know who Sway is?
Yeah,
Sway, the radio
host.
In fact, you know, and Sway was like, calm down, calm down.
Okay,
But he was going on and on and on in the same direction, talking about all the things he had achieved, things he had done, and basically complaining that he's not being acknowledged for all those things.
Yeah, look at that. That's his tweet. He said, everybody knows, probably I hope you'll see it now.
Yeah.
He says, everybody knows the movie Get Out is about me. This was just about 3 hours ago. This is Kanye West's Twitter feed. He says, everybody knows the movie Get Out is about me. Then he put on this one. He says, I put my life on my God, that Not's mom. He calls her Not's mom.
Yeah.
That's something. Would never photograph her doing Playboy. And that's on God. I'm at the ranch. Come and get me.
Yeah.
Okay, so, and then he went for that. He says, if I get locked up like Mandela, you will know why. No, Kanye, you are not going to get locked up like Mandela. And then he says, West children will never do Playboy West.
Wow.
And then this is one that is there's one, I don't know if he deleted it. Yes.
I think he did it.
Okay, he said yes. He says, Kim was trying to fly to Wyoming with a doctor to lock me up. Like on the movie Get Out, because I cried about saving my daughter's life yesterday. Now, this is a very shocking one. Kanye West claims to when he was almost aborted.
That's what he said.
That's what he said from his mom. And then he says he's bringing information that when Kim was pregnant with North, she called him while he was away, and she was with abortion pills, and they discussed about it, and God told him, don't abort the baby. Yeah. Why would he bring it out? And then he started crying on stage.
Oh, wow.
Why would you say things
you
like
understand?
this?
So you understand? And then he brought this up. You know, you don't know what this would do to the child.
Yes.
You want the child to grow up thinking that, oh, my dad said something that I could not have been, and all of that.
Yeah.
You know. So and then so he comes out and says, I want to run for president. My name is my party's birthday party. The US will be run like Wakanda.
Dude has some challenges.
And dude is now a billionaire, first of all. And he's actually putting up, he's going in for signatures to get into a ballot paper. He probably would, because of course you have seen people who put it together.
He's colored.
But my point is, it all brings up to the issue of mental health. That's what we've been talking about. That's what we've been dealing with.
Throughout the month.
Throughout this month. And not just this month. It's something that will be constant on Wake Up Nigeria and all of that. We all have to deal with issues differently. But I feel like at this point, if there's a way to not make public utterances in such a way. Not make public utterances, because you are not just endangering, I mean, the wife and the kids are involved, especially the kids. I mean, you can't say stuff like that. If you're going to talk about yourself, okay, that's you. You can handle it.
Yes. But not
my mom wanted to abort me.
Imagine, that's
on the internet. It's not going
If you're over 40 and you're 50 and you've not dealt with that one, that's your problem. No problem. Maybe you carry the scar through life. We all have some scars we might carry through life. Cool. But deal with it yourself. Talk about it yourself. But then going to talk about your daughter after she has...
Another
And she's
aspect.
going to grow up and see that, and we don't even know how how mentally stable she will be to even manage that.
So you're passing the mental,
exactly.
you are carrying the mental this thing.
And
you want to
we're
make
shouting Black Lives Matter, and then you're doing stuff like this. This only goes to say that, yo, this is your life that is mattering.
I'm actually going to go into, so someone else tweeted something, I can't find the tweet now, but someone tweeted something about all the men that have dated Kardashians or married Kardashians.
I saw that too.
And that, you saw it, right? And then, so there's this whole Kardashian curse thing going around, like all the men that get mixed up with these women just all end up having some kind of challenge. But, you know, Kanye always had his issues from the beginning. But it feels like...
But that is true.
This
when you
is
look at Lama or Dom, when you look at Lama or Dom, what's baby daddy of Courtney? What's his name?
No, don't even.
That guy's issues.
Don't
I liked him in the beginning. I mean,
not
he just,
Chloe.
He just not Chloe. Lama Odom is Courtney.
I don't used to do all those things, so that's his name doesn't just flash across my memory.
Courtney's partner,
baby daddy.
or baby, well, not partner, baby daddy of how many kids?
And
then
their dad.
May God just protect all of them. I don't know.
All right, there's still a lot more to talk about. Interact with us, engage with us, social media at TVC Connect. Use the hashtag #WakeUpNigeria on TVC. Let's know what you think about Kanye West and mental health generally. We'll take a short break. When we get back, of course, I will be giving you your shout-outs.
About planning for the future. And when many of us say so, we're actually talking about our economic future. We're planning for how can I get a job that will help me make more money? How can I get a promotion? How can I get more increase in salary? How can I get this? How can I get that? So most of what we claim to be planning for when we say we're planning for the future is our economic future. You know, Warren Buffett, who is one of my favorite billionaires in the world, says, the definition of success is to, by the end of your life, is to have the people who you want to love you actually love you. So there is nothing, according to him, and he's in his 90s, and he's one of the world's top 10 billionaires, so he should know that there is nothing more miserable than having accomplished so much in your life, and the people that you want to love you don't love you. And when I think of that, I think about, while you're planning for your economic future, are you also planning for the other possible futures, your emotional future? Are you building the friendships, the relationships? Are you creating ties with your family that will serve you when an illness hits, when a tragedy strikes, when trauma comes? Are you building your spiritual future? Are you slowly but steadily developing a relationship with divinity that can hold you when nothing else can? Because it's the same way you plan for your economic future that you plan for these things. You have to invest. If you want to end up with a long-term marriage, you have to invest every day. If you want to have children who will spend time with you when you are older, you have to spend time with them now that they are younger. So when you're planning for your future, from those who have gone before us and who are older, who give us their deathbed chronicles, the advice they most say is, beyond money, beyond accomplishments, beyond fame, are you investing in the things that truly matter? Your mind, through exercising your brain. Your heart, through strengthening your relationships. And your spirit, through creating a relationship with God, whatever you conceive God to be.
So, Dr. just said she's not so much into light-skinned guys.
Light-skinned, so is it tall, dark, handsome?
Yeah, let's talk about spec.
I don't want handsome because to be too stressful in my mind.
Wow.
So, yes,
wow.
I'm very precise. Tall and dark. Try not to be handsome. If you're handsome, it will be a problem. I mean,
how
the
is it going
attention
to be
should
a
be on me.
problem?
The attention should be on me, not on you. And don't have six packs, please. I don't need you self-absorbed.
Oh, all the finer things of life you do not want.
No.
Oh.
Just have money.
Okay,
Hey.
so they are nice to look at. Sometimes six packs nice to look at. Tall, dark, handsome is nice to look at. But if you do not have this, you might as well just be one of these balloons. Just put needle
There are people that
inside
have
and poof,
that still don't have money.
it will burst.
Let's be very precise.
Okay. Thank
So
you,
wait, Mike.
Thank you, ladies.
You started it.
You started it.
What is your own spec?
You want to run?
What is your spec? Your mic is not working, Abby. It's a lie,
Your mic
Joe.
is not working.
It's a lie. But seriously, wow, really?
Why are you
Mike?
whispering?
But you have to say,
Clear,
so Mike has, so everybody in the office knows Mike's spec. But
The mic is not working. Sound, please. Are we not taking a break now? We're supposed to take a break now. Okay.
But what do you think about intellectual ladies?
Okay, so
What do you think?
there was a time I used to think about specs and maybe things would just blow my head. Spec. But the older you get to understand that, look, man, spec is not going to be spec all through. you need to, there has to be something, a deeper anchor. There has to be something that holds you more than spec. Because, man, if you're going to follow spec, that means that the spec is what will be with you all through. So that means that if this person, spec would deteriorate.
Yeah, sure.
You have to understand. Spec would deteriorate. At the end, even the mindset will deteriorate.
Very true.
With age. So I think that for a young guy, if you're a teenager, your 20s and all of that,
teenager, don't go into relationship.
Spec will be
Teenager.
will be doing you and all of that. But when you get older, you understand that.
Yeah, but I think you still need spec for physical attraction.
What me I'm saying that physical attraction.
Yeah.
So as I wanted to touch on the fact that some people have stopped looking at physical features and started looking at financial features.
Oh, well.
Right? But the thing is, financial features can also go. As I mentioned, I think I've told you. Yeah, so I talked about a friend of mine who finally found her guy of all her dreams, great oil company job, beautiful car, house, everything,
But,
you know. 2
like
weeks after the wedding, he lost his job. House gone.
Should I talk like
car
a Nigerian?
gone.
You know what happens?
Can I answer
Right?
like a Nigerian?
Money
Just
gone.
before you answer.
So what was left?
While we're doing this, please, you can join us on social media. Let's also take your submission on this one. Let's talk about use the hashtag Wake Up Nigeria on TVC while the ladies
While
ladies are enjoying themselves and my sound is going to go off now.
Wow.
So with something like that, what a normal Nigerian would say is, after your marriage, so you mean before your marriage this didn't happen? We'll look at your wife like this. Auntie, where are you from? Which state exactly? So, who are your village people?
But the truth is, the thing is, ish just happens.
Yeah.
And obviously, I can't say the actual word on it. But it just sometimes those things happen. And it'll take the guy a while to climb back up. Not that the guy cannot climb, but he's not ill, he's not invalid. He can climb back up. But during that climbing phase, what are you as a woman now going to do?
That's why you as the woman should have your own level of financial stability.
God bless you.
You should, because
God bless you.
I think guys are done with the days of let me marry her and put in the house. I think they are done. They want you to be able to contribute something. So when I'm contributing 70%, where is your 30? Bring it.
No. It's feminism. It's 50-50.
50-50.
Women's right.
Calm down.
Women power.
I mean, men are different. There are different types of men.
So
there are some that
is,
want 50-50. There are some that still want you to stay at home. But I think 90% of men now want you to bring something.
I feel if the man, if your man is not asking, do 20% on a general basis. Find a way to make sure you are contributing, even if you're not, even if it's not a request, even if nobody is demanding it of you. Find a way to give it so that you can also give yourself a target, so that you always make sure you are able to give. So the day, for any reason, he's not able to handle it.
So somebody just want to point out, Titi studied English. Tope,
what?
You don't know what I studied? Wow, I thought you were my friend.
Many things are entering to my head.
Like what?
Oh, let me get to the point first.
I want to be a diva right now.
Okay, so do you know, but both of them now, they are statistical, the way they're dropping 20%, 30%. When it comes to this thing now, ladies, they're not maths. And I know these ladies are, they are not, you come and tell them, let's bring maths here. No. But once it comes to percentage in marriage, where you can bring about 20%.
Don't worry.
Okay, but hey, come on, let's just take one or two.
You learn. When you enter the house, you learn.
This is experience talking. You better learn. Don't follow me.
I know how many turkey is in that freezer right now.
Wow.
I know.
So those brothers that will come and count.
You count it.
Who ate one of those?
Okay.
You get to a place where you count it.
So let's see. I know you wanted to talk about BBN and all of that, but there's quite a lot that's been trending
has been trending.
Yeah, there's quite a lot that's been trending. And,
yeah.
You want to talk about?
I think BB Nigeria this year. The guys, they really tried for the guys. I mean,
I thought you said you don't like eye candy.
I don't like. I can admire it. Can never be mine.
Okay.
I don't want.
If one of them says he comes on Wake Up Nigeria now, sees you now,
overcome us,
and he wins 30 million naira.
so it will finish now.
Okay.
Please. They are pretty to look at. I do not want to own any of them. We should not admire. There's a beard gang thing going on in Big Brother Nigeria House, and then then there's some of Mike's spec.
Inside the house.
Your sound has problem again.
We're about to take a. It's 6, so it's time to take a break now.
No, it's not
been a
time to
wonderful
take a break yet.
Any break, Mike. Would you like to address your specs description in the house?
Yes. Yeah. Some extra votes will be going to some certain individuals.
Yes,
Courtesy
Mike will
Mike.
invest his money where his mouth is.
You see.
We have to wrap up. Actually, take a break this time, though. Thank you so much for watching. We're going to be starting the second hour in a bit. Stay with us.
Right.
Yeah, we are definitely on the rise here as we are about to begin the second hour of the most anticipated breakfast show in Nigeria.
Of course, you know how it is. Wake Up Nigeria, always a great place to be, a great time. We have fun.
Yeah.
We have that feeling, that great good feel breakfast show. And of course, we have that license to thrill at everything that we do. Of course, with the purpose to put a long-range smile on your face.
Yes, sir. Now, honestly, we've been smiling all day.
Yeah. It's been, y'all have made me uncomfortable a bit, man.
What?
Smile a bit, but
really?
I need it.
Uncomfortable? You have beautiful women around
Someone
you.
said,
Uncomfortable. Why?
Okay. You know,
People are jealous of you at home, don't you know?
Someone said that we all have to learn to be comfortable with being uncomfortable at times. So I think, that's the idea.
So maybe today you should step out of your comfort zone.
Very true, very true. Just pull yourself out there. You never know how far you can go, okay?
We have another 45 minutes of amazing
1 hour,
TV
45
content
minutes.
heading your way. And it promises to be totally mind-lifting, aka bust my brain.
Take it away. Okay, don't leave me. We are not going to leave you now. Of course, remember that you should observe the necessary hygiene standard. Wash your hands. Use an alcohol-based sanitizer, of course. Wear your face mask, your shield, and all of that. This is not America, where people just stand up and want to go and do anti-mask protest on the streets. If you try to, they will arrest you. You even go out with that man and be drunk, they will pick you up. Wear your mask, right? Come on, my name is Mike Messikeno.
And I'm Titi Layo Oyinsong. You can stream the show live on tvcentertainment.tv. You can also watch us live on Facebook at TVC Connect.
Definitely, of course, YouTube, that's also somewhere. TVC Entertainment, that's the channel, a one-stop shop. Get all that we do here, segments, and of course the full shows. You just have to be on that place.
Of course.
But hey,
you can always watch more of our videos there. Just play catch up on YouTube.
Play catch up, it's wonderful. I was catching up on a video yesterday, of course, your view. Where Nimat spoke about her experience with COVID-19 and all of that. It was quite an interesting watch.
Powerful.
Okay, but we have some smells in the kitchen. Beautiful. Hello, chef.
What's happening?
The way.
You're referring to me as beautiful, but it's okay.
How many times now? You are fine. Nobody's. It's not you.
Thank you.
It's not you.
I just needed a little extra, but we have the beauty.
Wow.
It's all right, Mike. We have the beautiful chef, Deborah, here. Good to have you here.
Yeah, thank you.
And what are you going to be preparing this morning?
Egg and plantain frittata.
Oh, some frittata goodness.
Hey.
Ooh.
Whenever I hear that frittata, many things are entering my mind, but wonderful.
Frittata.
Looking forward to what you guys have to do this morning in the kitchen. But let's get straight to what we have left for you in the time that we have. Dr. Ene Onazi, she is going to be here, right?
Yeah, the doctor of medicine, someone who's certified by the Education Commission for foreign medical graduates. She's going to be talking about the things you need to know about your nervous system, and we're focusing on identifying symptoms of stroke and what to do immediately.
And on parenting this month is Zefwa Erabo, who's a parenting well-being and flourishing teacher. She'll be talking to us about positive parenting.
And finally, Michael Ama psalmist. Akin Rogunde is an award-winning filmmaker with scores in directing and screenwriting, and of course a finalist at the 2015 We Are Water Film Festival. Powered now.
I just saw something that made my heart just beat now.
What again?
What?
Oh.
Are you sure it's not food? Because this guy and food, they're inseparable. It's not food, Mike. Tell the truth, and don't all liars go to hell and burn to ashes.
Then all of us will go to hell.
I'm not following you.
I'm not following you. I'm not the one that is lying about what I saw.
So if the place that you say that liars used to go.
Food or not?
They say like,
is it food or not?
He was looking at something edible.
It's food.
Who
That's
told you
Mike.
it's food?
That's the life of a bachelor.
But I wanted
Please help Mike.
I wanted to mention, that today we're talking with Dr. Ene about signs of a stroke.
Okay.
And, it's just very coincidental, that something happened yesterday on national TV that, looked like, signs of something. We don't know what it was.
You see, look. So a number of people came up on social media yesterday while we were talking about beating a kid. And they're like, no, can't you see what's happening? Can't you talk about this thing? Yes, we do on occasion. But you have shows like Journalist Hangout, you have your view and all of that. You have
that
the
will
news
dissect it.
That will break it down. We can talk about it. This is one of the reasons why mental health in this country, we need to take it serious. When you watch things like that unfolding in front of you, and you see how it seems as though we're all taken for a ride. The president is doing a great job, and someone says that when you fight corruption, corruption will fight back. It's in ways like this. When you hear about this NDDC probe and all of that, and then you see somebody that they're using Pepsi to revive in front of.
Wow, Mike, you went there.
And I will go further.
I started this by talking about signs of stroke.
Okay,
that's where I started this.
Yes,
so what's the sign? The sign was the money, the corruption.
To be sure
it doesn't have stroke.
What those signs were.
So you can call Dr. Onazi for
to be
consultation.
Sure. Exactly. Let's consult her and find out.
We'll still talk about this, but we'll still talk about this now. But let's take the news now. Talk, of course, has us on that one.
Yes, students under the NDDC program in the UK protested the non-payment of their allowance and school fees. They say some of them are homeless and after being evicted from their residence for lack of payments. They allege that the situation has exposed them to different kinds of demeaning jobs. They are calling on President Muhammadu Buhari to come to their aid.
Exposing ourselves to occupational risk, health risk, and it's even affecting our study. We were given 20 hours to work here. And when this 20 hours is not enough to pay, to settle our bills here, accommodation, shelter, and feeding. What we are saying is we are pleading to His Excellency, President Muhammadu Buhari, to take pity on us, because we used to hear from our parents that a mother will never forsake the cry of her infant. But it is unfortunate that NDDC has put this wrong.
Yeah, for as long as 2018, we're on their PhD right now, they're on the second year, and up to now, we've not gotten enough gift allowance, stop more of having their fees to be paid. Most of us have been locked out of our school quarters. Most of us don't have homes to stay. Most of us are squatting with different friends. We have to go back to food banks to get food. And sometimes when we get there, some of these food substances are very close to expiration date. We want to call on the NDDC and also the President also to prevail on the NDDC to come to our aid. We have been exposed to that situation in the UK here. We've been exposed to do different kinds of jobs. We are not defeated.
There seems to be a ray of hope on the horizon as scientists at the University of Oxford say their experimental coronavirus vaccine has shown a protective immune response in hundreds of people who got the shot. Trials involving 1,077 people showed the injection led to them making antibodies and T cells that can fight coronavirus. The findings are hugely promising, but it is still too soon to know if this is enough to offer protection, and larger trials are underway. The UK has already ordered 100 million doses of this vaccine. To securities matters now, 16 people, including a police inspector, have been killed in Kaura local government area of Kaduna State. Among the slain is a police inspector, Kukum Daji village, and Kaura divisional police officer, who were attacked. Now, the attack spots heavily armed men invaded Kukumdaji village and the divisional police office in the local government area where they carried out the mayhem. Chairman of the local government, Bege Katuka, says the attacks took place almost simultaneously in these two areas. 30 other members of the communities were injured, 2 out of whom lost their lives while they were being conveyed to the hospital. The deceased have been buried. Well, that's it on news updates for this hour. Now we have...
Welcome to the Wake Up Nigeria kitchen. Tuning in for the first time? Get ready for your stomach to start rumbling, because what we're going to be preparing here today is going to be mouth-watering. It's going to be scintillating. Why? Because we have Chef Deborah here.
Thank you.
Welcome back to the show.
Yeah, thanks.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. You've already started cooking. Calm down now. Calm down. Wait. Wait. I know I'm hungry too, but you know we have to tell people what we're making. So let's describe explain what we're making today.
It's egg and plantain frittata.
Egg and plantain frittata.
We call it the Nigeria dodo pizza.
Dodo pizza. Wow. Okay. Okay. So that sort of puts it in perspective. So whenever you think pizza, you think something round.
Yeah.
As whenever you think pizza, you think a lot of things on top of it.
Yeah.
So what are the ingredients we're using today?
Okay, I have sausage here.
Yeah.
Eggs. So I have salt and seasoning cube. Here I have smoked fish.
Smoked fish. Please lift it up. Let's see. Let's see. Smoked fish. Only smoked fish?
And smoked chicken.
Wow. Both fish and chicken.
Yeah.
And plantain. And egg. And sausage. Oh my goodness. I'm already getting hungry.
So here I have chopped tomato, then sweet corn, and my bell peppers. I have the red, the green, and the yellow here.
So it's going to be very colorful.
Yeah.
It looks like it's going to be very tasty. But I noted something else. What is this?
This is Scotch bonnet.
Scotch bonnet?
Yeah, the yellow one and the red.
So you mean the hottest pepper known to man?
Yes.
That's what you're calling just Scotch bonnet. Hot pepper. So these are what they call them, Cameroon peppers?
Yes, the yellow ones. Yes. Then I have ginger.
Ginger as well.
Yes.
Okay.
Then my onion.
Everything here.
And plantain.
Sounds mind-blowing. You've already started frying the plantain.
Yeah.
But you cut them into round circles. You didn't cut them into the, the diagonal ones.
No. So I just place them on top, round.
Okay. Fantastic. So fry the plantain first?
Yeah.
Do I have to use smoked chicken? Is that something
Yeah, you can use either beef, you can use anything you want.
Okay.
You can decide to use the boneless chicken if you want, not the smoked one.
Not the smoked one? All right. So these eggs, that's a lot of eggs. Are we using all of them or is this just for display?
I might use 4.
4 eggs?
You know, the egg helps the pizza to come out.
To stay together, I guess. We're a lot in the studio. All of them are eyeing us here, plantain, egg, everything. So I have a feeling you're going to use more than just the 4.
Okay.
But so are we doing anything to the egg now? Is that something?
No, not now.
Not yet?
Okay. When I'm done frying all this, then the egg will come.
All right. So let's get out a pan and see if we can begin with those vegetables. So are we using vegetable oil or butter, or what are we using?
I have
what's that?
Olive oil here.
Olive oil, okay. So pour some of the olive oil in there for me. Okay. Lower. Beautiful. Got you. All right. So olive oil in the pan. Olive oil in the pan. So any particular reason why you're using olive oil?
I want it to, to be healthy for even the fit farm can actually eat this without having the vegetable oil and all those ones.
All right. So which am I throwing in first?
It's the onion.
The onions. All right. Go ahead. Let's get to work. And as she begins frying off the onions and the ginger and possibly the pepper, right?
Yeah.
As soon as she's done with that, we'll be back to tell you a lot more about what's happening in the kitchen here And trust me, it's going to be a tasty treat for all of us. We're going to be watching a clip now, and I suggest you take the volume up and watch very carefully, because after that, we have Dr. Onazi talking to Mike.
All right, we have Dr. Ene Onazi. She's a doctor of medicine and is certified by the Education Commission for foreign medical graduates. She's registered with the Hungarian Medical Council and, of course, the Irish Medical Council. Now, she'll be here to us. We're talking about signs of a stroke and identifying symptoms of a stroke and what to do immediately. Hello, Dr. Ene. How are you doing?
Hi, good morning. How are you?
I am good. I am good. Now, we just saw a video of someone who just suffered a stroke and all of that. Even it's really can be scary. But let's just get straight into it. How do you know? How do you know that someone is there any sign that a stroke might come? First of all, let's start with that. Is there any sign, maybe signs that you have to look out for that make someone more susceptible to having a stroke?
Yes, there are many signs you can look out for, especially many illnesses or diseases or conditions your doctor has probably mentioned to you.
Okay.
If you have been told that you have hypertension or high blood pressure, or you have had diabetes for a long time, or you have a high level of cholesterol, or you have been inactive for a very long time, I mean, I'm talking about years, these are all factors, or they are all things that can contribute to you having a stroke.
Oh, wow. Okay. So what are the early signs? Now, apart from having these ones, now, what are the early signs that it is impending? I'm talking about maybe something you can see in months and all that. Are there any signs like that that let you know that it's getting very close? Impending signs?
Yeah, you can say that. We have something called a TIA. It's called a transient ischemic attack. Now, what it is something that is like a mini stroke. It's like a small stroke. It doesn't last long. It comes and it passes. So you get the similar symptoms of a stroke, but to a lesser degree sometimes. And it doesn't last as long. It stops like maybe within 5 to 20 minutes. All those symptoms go on their own.
What are those symptoms? What are those symptoms you're talking about?
So the symptoms are you lose your coordination or balance. So you either trip, or you tend to stumble, or you cannot even walk properly anymore. That you lose your coordination. Another symptom will be your eyesight. So you can either have blurry vision for a period of time, or a partial loss of vision for a period of time. Another one would be your face. You can feel like numbness on one side of your face, or you feel like, your smile looks awkward when you're trying to smile, just like we saw in the video. Very similar symptoms. You can also have your arm or your limb, your arm or your leg can be weak, so you can trip over without even realizing you're tripping over. You understand? And then your arm gets very weak. If somebody asks you to raise both your arms up, you notice that you can't keep one of them as high as the normal one. So usually it's always on one side it affects. Then your speech too is very important. If you notice that over time, not over time, but during the period of having that mini stroke, your speech gets slurred, you're not audible anymore. You sometimes, if you're eating, you can even choke, because the brain controls parts of your muscles that help you swallow. So that's also another sign of knowing that.
All right, so what do we do? What can we do immediately? If there's no, if people are around, what can they do? And then what also, let's look at the case of where nobody's around and you're probably the only person around. What can you do? Or what should you do immediately?
If you're the only person around, there's this acronym we have in medicine. It's called Be Fast. So why we call it Be Fast is because it's something that's so acute, so immediate. You have to be very quick to know what to do and how to recognize the symptoms. Be fast. So I mentioned most of it. B stands for balance, E stands for eyes, F stands for face, A stands for arm, S stands for speech, and T stands for time. Now, the time is one of the most important factors for you, because the moment you feel something is going wrong, you need to time when that happens. Because the timing is very important for the doctors to be able to treat you properly, the surgeons to be able to treat you properly. There are different treatments based on the different times, how depending on how long the stroke has lasted for. So those are the very important things you need to remember. If you're alone, timing is extremely important. Call somebody as soon as possible.
Call somebody as soon as possible, and then the person gets there. What's the next thing to do?
Well, if the person gets there, the person has to try and make sure you stay conscious. Person has to protect you from falling over, hurting yourself, because that part of your brain, what happens during a stroke is a part of your brain is not getting enough blood supply for that period of time. And you don't know the part of the brain that's not getting enough blood supply. So you don't know what parts of the body is going to be affected, right? So what you want to do is make sure that that person doesn't hurt themselves. Similar to a seizure, you want to make sure
Okay,
the person
Dr. Ene, let's hold it at that person doesn't want to hurt themselves. We'll pick up. We just want to take a short break, a commercial break. We'll pick up exactly from that point. All right, we'll just take a short. All right, we're back. We're not going to leave you, and Dr. Ene is definitely not leaving us. Now, Dr. Ene, we're talking about, we're going to pick up from where you spoke about when the person comes around and what to check for, right? Let's pick up from there. So when you've called somebody, the person has arrived, and you're suffering maybe the symptoms of a stroke and all that, what does the person do?
Yes, so the first thing that person wants to do is make sure that you are safe. When we say safe, we mean you are not close to anything that can hurt you. You're not going to fall. You need to be seated, or you need to be laid down in a comfortable position that's safe for you. You need to essentially, once that person is when you can be sure that that person cannot hurt themselves, you are keeping an eye on them. You cannot call the ambulance or find a way of getting that person to the hospital as soon as you can.
All right, okay. Now, there are also some illnesses that seem like they are a stroke. I know that there's a possibility of some other illnesses that seem like they might be a stroke. Do you have any idea of what kinds of illnesses, and if they are maybe treated, or if they are going to be approached in a different way from the way you would approach a stroke? Some kind of symptoms that might seem like a true stroke.
Similar to a stroke, a brain stroke, the only possible thing will be having a seizure. That is when you have increased or reduced brain activity, depending on what's going on in your brain. A seizure is similar to a stroke, but it can be from different causes or different kinds of seizures. You can have something that the person is just staring into space for a long period of time. You can have somebody, the person starts shaking after that period of staring into space, their entire body starts shaking. You also have to make sure that person is protected during that seizure. So some people who have epilepsy, like most people would know, would have seizures, chronic seizures that occur frequently. So that is one major illness that's similar to a stroke, but different. They have a different background.
All right. Now let's talk about age, the age factor here. Can someone be too young to suffer a stroke? What's the earliest age someone can suffer a stroke? Is it age dependent? What role does age play when it comes to the issue of strokes?
That's a very good question. Yes, the older you get, yes, it's possible that you get your risk of stroke increases, because then you have other conditions to worry about, like I mentioned earlier, hypertension and diabetes, which you have to control very, very well in order to reduce your chances of having a stroke. But that said, medicine is not particularly absolute. So anybody can have a stroke from whatever age, from a kid to an adult to an elderly person, because a stroke is just when you have a blood clot that gets stuck in a smaller vessel in the brain, and anything can cause that blood clot. So we don't say, okay, only this particular age group can have a stroke. Any age group can have a stroke.
Any age group. What's the youngest you've ever had to encounter before personally? What's the youngest age?
Personally, this was in the States when I was taking a practice there, and this was, I think she was 28 or 29. It was a lady, 28, 29. She had many other issues going on that culminated or that added up in her having a stroke.
All right, now post-treatment, post these stroke symptoms, and maybe the person has been taken to the hospital, there's been treatment, and then there's some sort of recovery. post this period, what can somebody do to ensure that these things do not come up again, or maybe the risk is limited? What can one do?
After that kind of an experience, you have to basically take care of yourself more. It's very, very important because everything in your body is controlled or related to the brain in some shape or form. You want to make sure you listen to everything your doctor tells you and you have to stick to it. Regarding the general lifestyle of Nigeria, for example, of our nation, we have to be a little bit more healthy with our oily foods, fatty meals, and all of that. We can have them, but in moderation, and less is more. Fish is always acceptable regarding your diet. So, yes, those are the things you can do after a stroke. Make sure you're healthy, active, avoid things that are, not healthy for your blood and your heart, so to speak.
So personally, I like fish. Maybe if you're looking like maybe like croaker, but I like it fried. Yeah. And then there's some people that have a proclivity for maybe like catfish or something. Like, when you mentioned that fish, I was not thinking. So I'm also thinking about my life, about the things that I take. So fried croaker is normally very, very, very. I cannot resist fried croaker. It's fried and all over.
Yeah.
But when you say fish and all of that, would you say fresh fish, taking fish freshly, that if it's maybe cooked without being fried, would be a better option than maybe having fried fish or something?
Oh, okay, no. You can actually bake. You bake fish, baked fish, roasted fish. You can use some oil, just a little bit, but deep frying, no, not advisable. Yeah, shallow frying is okay. You use moderate oil, but baking and roasting is very okay and healthy as well.
Okay, generally, now you made mention of fatty foods. Now, let's look at a Nigerian diet. You always have to deal with, diet, rice, beans, yam, pounded yam, goosey soup, and all of that. There's just so much carbohydrates and all of that. Would that have a factor to play maybe in making one more susceptible to symptoms of a stroke? Looking at the average Nigerian diet.
Especially if we want to talk about the foods, especially palm oil. Yes. And we tend to use that a lot in our soups, So
palm oil. Wow.
Yes, so if you must use palm oil, it's always advisable to keep it to a small amount, a tablespoon or a couple of tablespoons for the entire meal. If any of you have tried dieting, you will hear stuff about having white soup instead of having normal soup. That white soup is basically telling you to avoid palm oil. You understand? So every other thing, pounded yam and everything else, always in moderation and smaller amounts is always advisable the older you get, because as you get older, your body is not as strong and as fast, and your metabolism is not as great as it used to be. How you break down food is not as great as it used to be. So you have to be very observant and you have to watch your portions with all those extremely starchy foods, extremely fattening foods, oily foods, and all of that.
Man, this is hard though. So pounded yam now that there's people that as they grow older, they start with 4 wraps, they move to 5 wraps, 6 wraps, and all of that. You are saying that it should be in moderation, yeah?
Yes, the thing is, when you are trying to change your diet and be more healthy, you are not going to do everything all of a sudden. So you are used to a certain lifestyle, and when we advise getting healthier, we advise you to take gradual steps. So if you're somebody that likes 5 wraps of pounded yam, for example, now, and you want to get healthier, next time you want to eat 5 wraps, try and reduce it to 4 or 3. See how you do with that. Over time, you reduce it, like with maybe the next couple of weeks, you can now reduce it to 3, reduce it to 2. Your body will slowly adapt and get used to it. So that's one of the ways we try to make you stay healthier.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ene. It's always a pleasure talking to you, and I'm looking forward to what we'll talk about next week. Have a wonderful day.
All right. You too.
Okay. Titi, I don't know, you've heard all that has been said now. For those of you that like pounded yam, you are going to have to reduce your pounded yam the older you get and all of that. But let's talk about the health implications of what you're doing right now in the kitchen. Let's talk to the chef.
Yeah, so we used olive oil here. Remember, we used olive oil here, which is a healthier oil to use. That's what we use to stir fry the vegetables. So far, if you're just tuning in, we're making plantain
and egg
frittata.
Yeah.
Or as you said before,
Nigerian
dodo pizza. So far, you've put in the hot Scotch bonnet peppers, onions, ginger. You've put in the sweet corn as well, I see, plus some of the smoked fish and smoked chicken, and you're stir frying it now. I can also see that you're done with the plantain.
Yeah, I'm done frying the plantain.
And the plantain and the
sausage.
Sausage, yes. So you slice the sausage a little flatter than I expected. The way I thought you were going to slice the plantain is the way you slice the sausage. And that's fried down. You're adding a bit of salt there.
Yeah.
And seasoning.
Yeah.
All right, beautiful. So what am I looking for to know that this is done, this is ready?
I think the egg we have to. The egg will have to come first, then mix everything together.
Okay.
Then put in the pan, put all this, everything.
So what are you doing to the egg exactly? Are you doing it
I'm
now?
going to break it now.
Okay, let's start breaking the eggs right now. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's not waste any more time. Let's go. All right. Gotcha. Are we adding anything to the eggs?
Yeah, we are. I'm adding this to the egg.
So I saw that you put spice in the stir fry already. I'm always worried about spices. You know, making sure that they're not too
spicy.
Too spicy. But then the pepper, though, you put all that pepper inside. Hey, goodness me. All right, so
I'm going to whisk now.
Yeah, let me get that for you.
Okay.
Let me get a fork for you there. So whisking it, is it compulsory or do you have an option?
You have to break this, the yolks inside them before mixing the vegetables.
All right. So everything's ready.
Yeah.
The plantain's ready. The sausage is ready. All the smoked goodness is ready. The whole studio is scenting. Goodness me. And now we're done with the egg. So what's next?
So we're going to mix this.
Aha. So you're pouring it into the egg, not the egg into it.
No.
Okay. That's different. But this is omelette style then, yes?
Yeah.
Kind of?
Kind of. Kind of. But this one is going to stay on the fire longer than omelette.
Okay, beautiful, beautiful. So that's the difference. So, it's looking a lot different to how it looked before now. It looks very, like, I don't know how to describe it, like concussion. But I have a feeling once it's cooked, we're gonna have a very different feel.
Yeah.
A little bit more salt and spice. This is okay now.
No, there's no...
I'm always afraid, just me. It's just me, it's just a mindset thing. But of course, with that number of eggs, what you put in there is perfect. I can also see you have some excess chicken here. What are we using?
Yeah, I'm still going to add it,
okay,
but not here.
Is there anything I should look out for?
Yeah, so I'm going to add a little of...
more olive oil?
Yeah.
Okay, beautiful. Great. So, if I have... if I don't have enough oil in my pan, it's going to affect how it's going to look later, I guess?
Yeah, because you have to pull out so it doesn't stick on.
Okay.
That's why, and that's the reason why we are using non-stick pots.
A non-stick pan.
Yeah.
All right. So we set. Let's go. Back in the pan it goes. So how long do you estimate is going to be there for now?
Let me check, because I have to reduce the
heat.
The heat,
All
yeah.
right. All right. So what are we doing now?
So I'm adding the plantain. This is how you add the plantain. Either do it round or you do it in the rectangle side.
All right. And as you can see, it's already looking delicious. We are gonna be placing all that plantain and all those sausages into our frittata. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to be starting the third hour of the show in a bit. Stay with us.
Okay, the third lap. Now, we always kind of save the best for the last. So looking forward to a wonderful 45 minutes with you. Hope you've had an amazing 2 hours. Of course, the excitement continues on this third hour. Now, like we said, 45 minutes to go. Every second is going to be worth your while.
And we still have loads in store and so much more to look forward to. Now, if you missed anything so far, not to worry, not to worry. There's still quite a bit coming up.
There's
always.
We have a final guest, of course. We have parenting. We're going to talk about positive parenting, so there's quite a lot. Right? Just chill. My name is Mike Messikeno.
And I'm Titilayo Oyinson. Don't forget, you can still stream this show live on tvcentertainment.tv and, of course, on Facebook at TVC Connect. The comments you send in, we appreciate them so much. Send some comments on what we talked about already on the show today, on our meal today. Of course, the issue of the stroke, it's such a big deal.
It is.
We'd love to see your comments on that.
Considering the recent happenings with the NDDC probe, what do you think about all of that? Right? Let us know. Of course, you also know that 2:30 p.m. Fridays, we have something extra for you, IG Live. And of course, the kitchen is buzzing. There's quite a lot that's happening there. Buzzing. But hey, we'll get to that, of course, at the end of the show. Right, we still have something else to go.
Parenting as well. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Did you see that? Did you see that? Oh, looking good. Let's do this.
Yay. Okay, now.
Pizza.
All right. Of course, there's parenting to come up. We're talking about positive parenting. And then we have our final guest, Michael Alma-Samist. Now, he's an award-winning filmmaker, and he's going to be here talking to us virtually on the show. You don't want to miss all of that.
No, you don't. You don't. And there's so much about this individual that is so interesting. You need to make sure you tune in for that one. All right. So far, so good, everyone.
Yeah. So we're talking about stroke, and we didn't get to talk so much about the NDDC issue. Even that's where the first thing starts. And when I think about it, I'm like, generally, I think I've always said it before. As much as we expect leadership to drive us out of where we are as a nation, we really do have a major people problem. The person you saw yesterday is not the president. He's not the president. When in our own little way, in what you handle, what are you doing to ensure that even the people that are with you, I mean, it's easy for the North to say, okay, South's problem, for South, it's not the problem. When it's something that, okay, now you're handling your own people, and then you're supposed to do something, and then you hear about massive things like this. And of course, a lot of us are laughing about it because that's the only way some people can cope, cope and deal with it. So don't blame them. Don't blame them. Some people have complained so much and all that. But look, man, we are a problem. We are a problem. You know, but when in your own little way, while you are there, your own place, what are you doing to curb corruption? What are you doing to curb, unwanted acts of blind robbery? This one is much more than that. We're hearing figures that, and man,
there was some tweets that came up online sadly comparing what Hush Puppy did and what exactly happened.
It's happening,
happening in government, and comparing the amounts of money we're talking about, and who are getting arrested and who are not. So there's so many different aspects of this that are they're still unclear. You know, everybody's pointing fingers, but the thing is, it feels like all the fingers should be pointed at everybody at this point. It feels like nobody is innocent anymore.
I mean, at the end,
can we find one innocent person? Can we find one?
And this person is a professor of medicine, Ponde. He's a professor of medicine. So if anybody should know about his health and ensure that that's the person. Of course, there are videos of him strolling out of the place majestically with all this and everything and all of that. But it's become so much of a comedy, and it's sad. It's sad. This is someone says that when you fight corruption, which person has been doing corruption will fight back. It's in ways like this, and I just hope that this is not something that will be swept under the carpet. I hope we can get to the end of it. It's sad. Let's just we expect better. We want better.
Because it looks like we're beginning to take our country for a joke.
We are beginning to.
If things like this keep coming up on social media and we're just going to laugh,
This wasn't even social media. This was live TV.
Live TV. I mean, the memes that they are making out of it on social media, and we're just laughing. We need to take it seriously, because if this happens now, people are saying, did he really have faint? Did he really not faint? Because people are now feeling like it was a tactic not to face the allegations.
Like, that was it. That was it. All right, but then, hey, come on, it's time for us to move on to the news now. Talk about how's it's covered on that one.
Yes, the Nigerian Center for Disease Control, NCDC, reported 562 new cases of coronavirus from overnight, taking the country's total number of cases to 37,225. The highest figure was recorded in the Federal Capital Territory with 102 cases, followed by Lagos with 100 new cases. Other states with high figures include Plateau with 52 cases, Kwara 50, and Abia with 47. Enugu, Bauchi, and Kebbi states recorded the lowest number of new cases. So far, 50,333 people have been discharged, while 801 people have died from COVID-19 related complications. Students under the NDDC program in the UK protested the non-payment of their allowance and school fees. They say some of them are homeless after being evicted from their residence for lack of payments. They allege that the situation has exposed them to different kinds of demeaning jobs. They are calling on President Muhammadu Buhari to come to their aid.
Seeing ourselves to occupational risk, health risk, and it's even affecting our study. We were given 20 hours to work here, and when these 20 hours is not enough to pay to settle our bills here, accommodation, shelter, and feeding. What we are saying is we are pleading to His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari to take pity on us, because we used to hear from our parents that a mother will never forsake the cry of her infant. But it is unfortunate that NDDC has put this wrong.
Yeah, for as long as 2018, we're on their PhD right now, they're on the second year, and up to now, we've not gotten enough gift allowance, stop more of having their fees to be paid. Most of us have been locked out of our school quarters. Most of us don't have homes to stay. Most of us are squatting with different friends. We have to go back to food banks to get food. And sometimes when we get there, some of these food substances are very close to expiration date. We want to call on the NDDC and also the President also to prevail on the NDDC to come to our aid. We have been exposed to that situation in the UK here. We've been exposed to.
Moving on now, there seems to be a ray of hope on the horizon as scientists at the University of Oxford say their experimental coronavirus vaccine has shown a protective immune response in hundreds of people who got the shot. Trials involving 1,077 people showed the injection led to them making antibodies and T cells that can fight coronavirus. The findings are hugely promising, but it is still too soon to know if this is enough to offer protection, and larger trials are underway. The UK has already ordered 100 million doses of the vaccine. To securities matters now, 16 people, including a police inspector, have been killed in Kaura local government area of Kaduna State. Among the slain is a police inspector, Kukumdaji village, and Kaura divisional police officer. The attack spots heavily armed men invaded Kukumdaji village and the divisional police office in the local government area where they carried out the mayhem. Chairman of the local government, Bege Katuka, says the attacks took place almost simultaneously in the two areas. 30 other members of the committees were injured, 2 out of whom lost their lives while they were being conveyed to the hospital. The deceased have now been buried. Well, that's it on news for today. Wake Up Nigeria continues. Welcome back. Idzefua Era Bob is a parenting and well-being and human flourishing teacher and also a coach. With nearly 2 decades of practice experience, she's trained as an applied positive psychology practitioner, an applied positive psychology coach at the renowned Flourishing Center in New York, USA. Now she will be talking to us about positive parenting. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing today?
Very well, thank you.
Now, let's just delve right into the conversation for today. Positive parenting. Please tell us about that. How do we go about positive parenting?
Okay, so there are several ideas around parenting these days, and I think sometimes we confuse what positive parenting is. First of all, what positive parent is not is that positive parenting is not permissive. So people think that when we talk about positive parenting or positive discipline or other forms that are called conscious parenting, what we are saying is we should let our children go wild and not have any form of regulation. No. Positive parenting, on the other hand, is actually a non-punitive, so that is not punishment. It is a non-punitive and a non-permissive way of raising our children.
All right.
So it is actually finding that beautiful balance in between, where there is discipline, but discipline in this context is not punishment. Discipline means to train our children so that they are resilient, they are responsible, and respectful citizens.
Okay, so by saying discipline is a topic of concern in Nigeria, because recently a video was viral.
I don't hear you very well.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Okay, I said discipline is a topic of concern in Nigeria, and most recently we saw a video going viral on social media of a dad beating his child. Now, are you saying that that is not positive parenting?
I'm sorry, that is not positive parenting, that is cruel parenting.
Okay.
So when you talk about that video, so this is the thing. Over the years, we had no idea how the human being develops.
Okay.
So science had it, and science has been evolving, but we had a culture that taught us that to actually instill character, we have to punish.
Yeah.
But what we know from brain science, which I like to describe it this way, every behavior has its root in the brain. Behavior is brain-based.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
And what we know from brain science is when you are able to form respectful relationships with individuals that are respectful, and when people feel a sense of belonging and significance, they behave better. So that video, the father was focusing on the behavior instead of focusing on the belief driving the behavior. Why did that girl return? Why did she not obey? What happened within the dynamics? And beyond the why, how can you train that child so that next time she makes a better decision?
Okay.
And that is what positive discipline is. So contrary to what we think, punishment focuses on the trouble, and punishment is focused to pay you for what you have done. Like, I'm going to pay you back because you did wrong.
Okay.
The root word of discipline is disciplining, which means to teach. It focuses on teaching the child skills to support the child do better. So if I ask, what did he teach her that day by beating her? What did she learn?
That she'll possibly get beaten for making mistakes or not obeying.
Good. And our role as parents is to instill character skills. So positive discipline, we provide tools to support parents to actually do what they really mean to do. So that father meant for the child, the intention will be, so that next time she doesn't go into join the group I said she should not join, or she understands why she shouldn't. There are options in a way that she gets it.
Okay, now for the benefits of our viewers, we know that this topic is very important in Nigeria at this time. What is the best positive parenting in disciplining measures?
So when you say what is the best, positive discipline and positive parenting is filled with a lot of tools, but I think the first place I would start is recognizing that our children are complete.
Okay.
That girl is complete, she's whole, and our children are not good, neither are they bad.
Okay.
They are not their behavior. Behavior is an outcome. So separating the child from the behavior and know the behaviors are learned, and how we teach and train and discipline is what determines the behavior.
Okay. Okay, now for a parent out there, watching, now it's very important that it's very good that you actually said their behavior is learned. Now we know we've heard about learning and unlearning. Now, how do we teach a parent to teach their children to unlearn things that they've learned so they can relearn other things?
So I would say it's a long rope, but a simple tool I really like to share with parents is to be kind and firm at the same time.
Okay.
So I tell you what, imagine, let's use the situation of that man. Yes. Imagine for a moment that girl, the father found out, she went and she joined what he said she should not join, the group, right? And she was chatting. Sitting that child down to focus on the solution. What is the end goal? So focusing on the solution is a tool.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
What he wants is for the daughter not to be on social media or join groups inappropriately.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
Okay.
How can he support her? She's 18, I think, from the video, such that together they come up with an agenda and a plan for her to stay true to that. In fact, it can be as simple as listening to her.
Yeah.
So kind and firm means you are firm on the principle as a parent. That's why I said it's not permissive. Yeah. You're firm on guidelines around social media use, but you're kind to and respectful to the child, and even respectful to yourself. So respectful to yourself means you're going to stick to that principle because you know it's helpful, but how you deliver it is important.
Yeah. Okay, now from what I'm getting is therefore this basically is responsibility for the parent. Now, how do we channel this mindset for parents who have been probably experienced other forms of discipline from their parents? How do they now start to learn how to inculcate this?
Great. So how they start to learn again is going back to the fundamental. Maybe I say this, when they understand really, right, that every relationship, every interaction they have with their child is forming the brain. And when I mean the brain, the architecture, how the child's brain is forming, then they would know that they need to use methods that help the brain form appropriately. Okay. And aggression and insulting and shaming and beating, they actually inhibit proper brain development. Okay. On the other hand, a firm approach and firmness in language, not necessarily yelling. For example, that father could say, I told you, we had a conversation and we agreed that you should not go to social media. Yeah. What happens now that you've gone to social media? What happens? And how do you do this differently? He's not going to say, oh, I let you. So there are natural consequences for things. Okay. Okay?
Yes.
So it's what is the natural consequence when we agree and you break the rule? It's like when you go under the rain, you get beaten. The natural consequence could be, you know what, we're going to keep your phone away.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
That is so, and it must be related, it must be respectful. Yeah. But I don't always advocate just natural consequences. Focusing on the solution. How can he support this child to do better next time?
Okay.
Probably now, educating her around social media.
Okay. Okay, now, quick one, yeah? So assuming a parent watching says, okay, you know what, Izefua, I'm going to take this, instead of beating my child, I decide to talk to my child and be kind and also firm. Imagine this happens and the child still goes back to do the same thing. What should now be the next course of action?
Oh, I love your question. So I tell you what should be the next course of action. You repeat the process. Listen, habits are not formed in a day. As adults, how many things do you intend to do? And the first day you start, you're perfect, right?
Yeah.
Learning from brain science takes time. We say when neurons that wire together, fire together, that simply means for you to cultivate a habit, right? You need to repeat it over and over and over and over again. Okay. And that happens because in the brain, I want to say it in a very lame way. In the brain, it's like you're creating a path, a road.
Okay.
And the more you step on that path, it gets broader. And it's like, imagine you're passing through a bush. the more people walk through it, the more it's broadened, the more people can pass through.
True.
So the child does it again, repeats the process. It's like learning to become a lawyer. You didn't just go one day and you became a lawyer. Practice, practice, practice.
Very true. Thank you so much, Izefua. I am very sure that a lot of Nigerian parents and other parents watching have learned a thing or two on how to realign their positive parenting.
Thank you for having me.
All right, then, there you have it. Parents out there, I'm sure you have learned that you need to learn, unlearn, and relearn best ways to parent your kids. We'll be going on a quick break. When we come back, Wake Up Nigeria continues. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, everyone. Now we have another exciting guest with us. He's joining us right now virtually, and we've been looking forward to this one.
Yep, here's Michael Amasamist. He's an award-winning filmmaker with course in directing and screenwriting. He's also a graduate of mechanical engineering from from Covenant University, of course, and also an AMVCA winner. Okay, it's great to have you here, Amasamist. Good morning. How are you doing?
Hi, good morning. Very good to be here.
Okay, so I know that everyone, this has been quite a challenging period for most of us in the creative industry, having to stay at home. That is something that we're not so good at. So let's just talk about your experience, after, post or during the lockdown and then post-lockdown as things are being eased. How has it been keeping this creative inside a particular space and not being able to go out so much and do all that you love to do?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the toughest stages were the first weeks of the lockdown because it was very unpredictable. No one knew how long it was going to last for, if we were going to be allowed to go out anytime soon. So there was this whole mental coming to accept that this was the new reality. But for me, it wasn't so hard for me to, well, I mean, it was annoying because the most exciting part of creating for me is actually being on set and making the things that I have in my head come to life, which you get. But this period, the most that we could do was post-production and writing and just thinking of ideas. But then it is very discouraging to think of ideas because you don't have an idea when the lockdown is going to end and when you're going to be able to execute those ideas. So many times you just be like, see, I beg, just forget about it. But yeah, I think it has opened up a lot. There's a lot more happening in the creative space generally, and it feels like a lot of people have some kind of new fire because they haven't created in a long while. So yeah, it's exciting to see.
All right, now speaking of the creative space, you were a finalist at the 2015 We Are Water Film Festival powered by UNICEF and Roca. Now, being one of the 5 winners of the Accelerate Filmmaking Project, these are really great accolades to have. These are, notches in your cap.
Thank you.
Thank you. So first of all, let's talk about the UNICEF project. What idea did you put forward, and how were you able to put it together?
Okay. So in the year that we did that competition, the theme of the festival for the year was water and sanitation. So a couple of friends, myself and about 3 other people wanted to do something that would involve water and sanitation, or would involve the effects of water and bad sanitation. And a typical case study for us in the time was going to Makoko. So we, without funds, and we were fresh out of school, broke, inexperienced and all of that. I remember that we shot that documentary with a phone, and I remember how we were on the boat and the boat literally started to capsize and we were going into the water. And because we even borrowed the phone, because none of us could afford a phone that would be expensive enough to shoot 4K, we just raised our hands up so that the phone would not fall inside the water. I will not be owing somebody money. But then I think it was just the passion and the excellence that we were going for. And that was also a very strong factor, in my opinion, as to why they selected us, because it was very strong in all of our submissions that we shot it with a phone, and it didn't come out. It didn't come out badly at all. So we were 2 finalists from Nigeria in about 40 countries. So yeah, that was exciting.
Beautiful.
Who held the phone? The phone people shot you. Who held it?
It was me. It was my best friend's phone.
Wait, you can swim, Sha. You can swim.
No, I couldn't swim. I couldn't swim. And
you
again,
went to shoot
the
in
boat
water?
capsized because we were trying to save costs.
You went to shoot in water? How far? Okay, what I want to mention is, how much of a risk can you take to put together that picture that you want? What's your riskability percentage? How much of a risk can you take?
So I feel like, a thing that I've heard time and again from people that I've worked with is that I would do almost anything to get a shot that is in my head. I can lie down and I don't know, anything humanly possible anyways. But then when it comes to risks, I mean, every job has risks. So if the risk is not involving anybody in my team getting hurt or injured, if it's a controlled risk, which is what many filmmakers have to do, especially if you're shooting like stunts and action films and all of that, there are always risks, but there are like mitigations that you can put in place to ensure that nobody gets severely injured or dies. But yeah, as long as it's within the safety and parameters, I pretty much can do anything to bring out a picture I have in my head.
So this risk factor that Mike mentioned is a very big one, because you hear about people doing their own stunts in action films and things like that. So how long do you think it's going to take for us as Nigerians to get to that point where doing stunts will just be so easy for us? And have you ever, tried anything like that in any of your films?
Okay, so for me, I don't like to overdo. Let me explain. I mean, if I wanted to do an action film,
we know.
Exactly.
Go on.
But then there's been a lot of improvements in that space particularly. I remember the first time I ever had to do an action sequence. It was on a project called Hunter's Game. That's all. I didn't even know. I mean, you do a lot of reading and research as to how to stage and position the actors and all of that, but it is an entire process. It's almost like you have to take a course in. So yesterday I was watching behind the scene videos from the movie The Old Guard on Netflix that's been trending for a while. And then that fight scene in the plane, when the actors were explaining how many times they had to take the shots, even though they had stunt doubles and stunt coordinators and it is Hollywood, I'm like, first of all, the budget to shoot that kind of stuff in Nigeria, many investors and funders would not want to put money into that, because I mean, it's unpredictable, it's a new terrain and all of that. But then there's a lot of people like director Stanley has done stuff like that. Finn Gamble has done stuff like that. I mean, there's a lot of films. Stow Country was an action film and it was really good too. So I think it is one of those things that's just going to get better with time. But me, maybe I will wait first and observe.
You wait first.
And just stick to doing.
Don't worry.
And just stick to doing really great dramas.
You see, that
like
song.
I like that.
No go do pass yourself. You're a wise man. You know how to be. But let's round up. Let's round up with this. Just a future project. Something can. What should your fans look out for coming from you?
As quickly as possible.
From the stables of psalmists.
Okay. Okay. So I feel like we're in our space, we're just in our space being my company now, we're just fully evolving into a proper, I mean, for the longest time I've just been an independent director and the director for hire. But then I feel like we're just fully evolving into maybe creating more personalized content. Yes. So we're working on a couple of projects. I personally am working on a couple of projects with other producers. There is a movie called Nemesis coming out. That's a feature. There's a couple other features that are coming out. What one of the things I'm most excited about is Hunter's Game. We're in pre-production and fundraising for the entire series. So yeah, I mean, it's just a lot of stuff. The series and short films and feature-length films. And
thank you so
I don't know,
much.
there's some that I can't speak to yet. But
yeah, of course. We know, but as soon as it's set, we know you'll come and tell us right here at Wake Up Nigeria.
Yes, definitely.
It's been great having you on the show. Really, really great.
Thank you so much for
all
having
the
me.
best. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. All right, Tokwe, what's up? How you guys doing?
Yes, so.
All right. We're coming to join you there.
Naija Todo Pizza. Yes, so.
Tokwe, you want to try
Let's do this.
Tokwe, come and try. Your dress is very fine today. You should be the one to try this too.
I just said that yesterday my dress was ugly.
Yeah. Alrighty.
You see, I'm not ready for you.
Our chef has...
Yeah. This way.
Alrighty. Our chef has done an amazing job here. I mentioned it was going to be colorful. I mentioned it was going to be tasty. And it looks amazing.
So can you just tell us very fast how you
came
across?
While she's cutting into it, just talk to us.
Okay, how I made this.
Yeah,
okay. The first thing I did was to fry the plantain.
Okay. Cut.
Then the sausage. Then after frying the sausage, then I did the stir fry, the tomato, the pepper and all that. Then when I was done with that, then I mixed the stir fry with the egg. Then I whisk. Then the next thing I did was to pour it inside the pan. Or you have to use a bit of, either you use olive oil or
okay. We need to do this really quickly. So we can see how the inside looks. Beautiful. And that's it.
Nice.
That's the frittata. Let's hold it still so people can see.
Yeah,
let's hold it really still so people can see. All right, let's see if they can catch it quickly before we wrap it up. Thank you so much, Chef, for this amazing job.
It's really
so that's plantain, chicken, fish, every inside. All right, so let me see if I can offer Tokwe a taste there. There you go.
Okay.
Hey. There you go.
Thank you, guys.
I like the fish.
Very nice. Well done, Chef. Thank you for being a part of the show. We will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.